Artificial intelligence is rapidly transitioning from experimental pilot projects that we've seen during the last years to full-scale production systems across industries. As companies integrate AI into their core operations, the spotlight from regulators and authorities intensifies. The pressing question is your AI system compliant with the evolving European legal landscape? Welcome to Diritto al Digitale, the podcast where we explore the intersection between law and innovation. I'm Giulio Coraggio, your host, a technology and data lawyer at the global law firm DLA Piper. In today's episode, we'll delve into the methodologies for assessing the compliance of AI solutions in the European Union, focusing on the AI Act, the GDPR, and intellectual property law. Since this is a pressing question from many of our clients that are adopting many AI systems and don't know how to handle their compliance. Many organizations have moved beyond the pilot phase, deploying AI systems into live environments. This transition brings increased scrutiny from regulators and necessitates a robust compliance framework. Key considerations include risk assessment, identifying potential legal and ethical risks associated with artificial intelligence deployment, regulatory alignment, ensuring AI systems adhere to current and forthcoming regulations, continuous monitoring, establishing mechanisms for ongoing oversight and accountability. To explore the complex regulatory landscape, companies should adopt a structured approach to AI compliance. Here is a recommended methodology that we at DLA Piper developed and found quite suitable for many of our clients that we assisted over the last months. Number 1, map the AI systems. Identify all the AI systems currently in use or planned for deployment within your organization. Many of them might be well known across the organization, but in many other cases we have seen employees that were using AI systems sometimes with a private account, sometimes with a free account, without even knowing the risks behind these technologies, and putting the organization at risk of sanctions, fines, or claims just because they were superficial in adopting these technologies that were making just their life easier. Number 2, create an AI governance framework. You cannot tell your employees what to do and what not to do if there are no internal rules. You can make an assessment of AI solutions, but you need to tell your employees what they need to do, and you need to provide disciplinary sanctions if they breach these obligations. Without a procedure, without a policy that sets out the process to be implemented in order to have the approval of AI solutions, then you cannot expect your employees to comply with a generic legal framework. So you need to establish internal policies and procedures governing the use and the approval of AI solutions. Number 3, form an internal AI committee. I like the GDPR that is more focused and specific on the areas that is impacting. AI solutions are impacting the business across the board. So it's difficult to identify a single person that is going to be in charge of assessing the compliance of any sort of AI solution. It's better to have, at least in this initial phase, an AI committee. There should be a cross-functional team responsible for evaluating AI solutions using a compliance by design approach. This team should include top manager and operational members who will assess AI solutions, liaise with business units, and monitor AI systems post-implementation. Then you can need to assess which solutions will be adopted by your organization. Your organization cannot invest in any possible solution that the business wants to put in place. And for the same objectives, you might have in the market different options at different terms. So Number 4, select and prioritize AI solutions. Determine which AI solutions to invest in and establish their priority levels based on business impact and compliance risks. Number 5, test and evaluate AI solutions. You cannot put in your business AI solutions without having done an assessment of compliance, an assessment from a technical standpoint. So you need to conduct a thorough evaluation of selected AI technologies to evaluate which of them meets compliance and performance standards. Number 6, implement compliance measures. You identified the gaps in compliance of the AI solutions. You need to negotiate with your supplier or adopt internally, if the technology is developed internally, the solutions in order to ensure compliance. At the same time, without damaging the potential operational benefits. So ensure compliant adherence to privacy, IP regulations, as well as the terms of the UAI Act. For instance, the Italian Data Protection Authority has initiated investigations and issued GDPR fines for breach of privacy laws by AI systems. These fines gave guidelines on what authorities expect these AI systems to do and what kind of guardrails should be in place. You need to implement these lessons within your organization. Once you have done it, you have a bulletproof solution that shall be accompanied, however, by some training, because if your employees have been given rules, but they don't fully understand how those rules are impacting their operations, it's like not having rules in place. The rules cover 3 main areas: the areas of data protection, the areas of intellectual property, because data and IP protected materials are the cornerstones of what an AI solution is built on, because it's what the AI solution learned as part of the development phase and is the basis on which the AI solution will generate some outputs. Bear in mind, though, that the obligations that are put in place depending on the application. So an AI system that is used in the HR environment will have much more obligations than an AI system that is just worked to create, is used to create efficiency in your machine-to-machine operations, just like an IoT system. This is the risk-based approach that is behind the UAI Act, that is more focused on the usage, on the purpose for which an AI system is going to be used, rather than the technology itself. To ensure that your AI systems comply with EU regulations, you should perform a 4 stages approach. Conduct a comprehensive risk assessment, where you evaluate potential risks associated with AI development, including data privacy, ethical considerations, and the legal landscape. You need to engage with legal and compliance experts, because, again, unlike the GDPR, the AI solutions impact so many areas of law. It's not just the GDPR, the IP law and UAI Act. Depending on the implementation of the technology, other areas might be relevant. You need to implement robust documentation practices. Sometimes we hear from clients that they just think that a solution is low risk, and so they haven't done anything in running a compliance assessment. You need to prove that you have run an assessment and you reach the conclusion that adequate safeguards are in place, and therefore the solution can be implemented in your business. The principle of accountability that is behind the GDPR is also valid for AI solutions, is also behind the AI Act, and you need to make sure that you comply with that. And then you need to stay informed about regulatory developments. Especially now that we are in the first phase of applicability of the AI Act, the regulatory landscape is rapidly evolving, and therefore your approach will likely change. To support businesses in these practices, we developed the methodology that I briefly outlined in this episode, but also we developed a legal tech tool known as Prisca AI Compliance that supports the business in running this compliance assessment. Compliance assessments that are repetitive. Just this week, we had the clients that told us we have 20 AI solutions to be implemented during the next 3 months. How shall we do that? We don't have bandwidth in dealing with these assessments. You can outsource these assessments to a firm like us, but we also can provide you a tool to make your life easier. And just reach out to us to know more. So where are we now? As AI becomes integral to business operations, ensuring compliance with evolving regulations is paramount. The big question is whether your organization is prepared to meet these challenges. I invite you to share your experiences, questions, and concerns about the topic. Just send me an email at giulio.coraggio@dlapiper.com. And if you found this episode insightful, useful, or just a good way of spending a few minutes, please subscribe to the podcast and activate notifications to stay updated on future discussions. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other major platforms. Your 5-star rating would be greatly appreciated and help us continue delivering valuable content at the intersection of law and innovation. I'm Giulio Coraggio, this is Diritto al Digitale, arrivederci.